My father is dead. At his funeral, many came to me to proclaim what a great man he had been, how he'd brought stability to the realm, how impressive he had been as a warrior, as if I did not already know. They talk about how my son will make a fine king one day, how handsome and charming he is, how he looks so much like his grandfather. I let them prattle on. Today is my coronation, and I will soon prove to everyone that I am my father's heir.
Hello Wanderers, welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series following the House of Drengot. Now, as you no doubt remember, in the last episode, the great king Richard Drengot, the ruler of Sardinia, unfortunately left this mortal coil and passed on at the age of 69, leaving his daughter, Queen Fredesende, to ascend to the throne of this land, and no doubt to prove herself as a worthy successor to her father. Now, we haven't seen that much of Queen Fredesende in the story thus far, though we do remember that as a child she often would follow Jordan around before he was known as a king, and she really looked up to her father in a lot of ways. And out of all his children, she did take after him the most. In fact, many of the traits that she has, she shares in common with her father. So they are very similar people, Fredesende and Jordan. But I think that there is an element of her within her character that thinks that people are maybe overlooking her because she was his daughter and not his son, and I think she wants to overcome that. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of an aggressive character here with Queen Fredesende than might otherwise be expected. Not because she is ambitious necessarily, obviously has some ambitions, but I think because the vengeful trait is making her consider the possibilities of how she can overcome the things that people thought of her. So expect that kind of story coming out of Queen Fredesende's rule. That will no doubt be much different than when her son Tancred comes to the throne. Now, as you can see, Tancred is a bit of a layabout. He's content, he's arrogant, he's gregarious, he's a fortune builder. He is a character who cares more about money and partying and his friends and really enjoying the luxuries of living a royal life. So when things come down to Tancred, I think our playstyle is going to change quite significantly. He does have 3 children so far, Adelaide, Tancred Jr., and Miriella. And it looks like his wife is indeed pregnant once again. His wife, of course, Sybil Carling of the House of Carling, a very prestigious house indeed. So our children, our grandchildren here, are descended from the great Charlemagne. Now, what are our main considerations here as we begin Queen Fredesende's rule? Well, we are going to pick a lifestyle, and although she was not raised as a warrior or anything of that sort, you may recall that Fredesende did spend a lot of time watching her father and the knights and kind of investing herself in that as a child. So we are going to go down the martial tree for her and probably the authority focus, because I think that she's going to be the type of character who wants to exert her authority over everyone else. She has apparently filled out the Gallant tree, which is kind of interesting. I think this is perhaps from watching King Jordan, so much that she's really developed this idealized aspect of what a knight and a warrior should be. So I think this is where she's kind of learned all of these type of things. And she has filled out a little bit of the strategist tree. So we might kind of go down all 3 of these branches a little bit. it'll be curious to see how that plays out in her character. She is 50 years old already, so we'll see how long she has to make her mark on the world. Perhaps she'll live a long time, perhaps not, but that is yet to be determined. We also have a few council positions to fill out, so why don't we take care of that first? Obviously, our husband is King Gilbert, a character who has played a small role in the story thus far, Gilbert LeBlanc, who is diligent, he's temperate, he's a little bit fickle, but he's also got some decent traits. He's a flagellant, so that's kind of interesting, but confider, august. Yeah, generally he's been a pretty decent guy all around, and I think that, put King Jordan's heart a little bit at ease knowing that his daughter had such a good man to rule at her side, even though Fredesende is probably thinking that she's definitely the more assertive one of the two. So he's got a very strong diplomacy, so he's adding that to our diplomatic score there. 19, plus 19. Very diplomatic guy. We will consider that when we look to our decisions in the game. Obviously, Raynar has been with us a while. Raynar is a terrible bishop, a terrible person, and really the only thing he's been good for is fabricating claims for us here in these lands. So generally not a good guy. We're not going to listen to him that much, but we will use him as we need to. As for our chancellor, well, what kind of options do we have? Mayor Constantinu would be not a very good option, honestly. Probably not going to choose him. Gerard de Toron is probably the best, but he's already our marshal. He's actually probably one of the best characters in our kingdom. I think we may have to go with Landulf di Aquino from the Aquino family that we know so well. There we go. Why don't we just grab you a quick wife here, Landulf. We'll just kind of pick perhaps an Italian woman. There you go. Always good to give your characters a relationship to have. That'll give them something to live for, something to work for. And who else do we have here? Our steward. Who shall we choose for our steward? Well, Tancred. I think our character does really think that Tancred needs to learn a little bit of responsibility. But would he really be good at it? What's he going to do if he's a steward? Probably spend all our money unwisely, but we'll give him a chance. He does have to learn how to rule a kingdom. So we're giving you a chance, Tancred. You better not screw this one up. Otherwise, well, who knows? Who knows what options we'll have? Of course, Gerard de Toron is our marshal, and he is a pretty awesome knight here. Brave, humble, impatient, skilled tactician. He's a hunter. He's a logistician. Very strong. Just altogether, a great Norman warrior we have here of the House de Toron. And we do need a spy master. So Mayor Herbert has very high intrigue, but he is not very trustworthy. I wonder, wants a seat on the council, absolute crown authority, doesn't really like us that much. And I don't know if we could trust him as our spy master, whereas if we put Princess Maud in there, at least we would be able to know that our spy master isn't going to try to murder us. So unfortunately for the mayor, we are going to put our sister in that position because I'd rather have a spy master we could trust than one we cannot. She is our friend as well, so don't have to worry about her betraying us too much. So that's our council filled out, and we should be good to go. Let some time fill. We have formed an alliance with the Duke of Auvergne, and that is absolutely wonderful. And now Landulf's got his marriage. So we can potentially declare some wars here, but are we going to do that immediately? Well, we do want to get Corsica under our sway. Will he accept vassalage? How close is he? Minus 22. So yeah, if we get the low feudal, we might be able to bring him in. So we are going to start a sway scheme here. Like I said, we do want to prove ourselves, but our husband has a big influence, so he may be thinking, let's go diplomatically into Corsica and really try to win them over, bring them onto our side. Now, Tuscany, that's a different story. Once we have Tuscany under our sway, we will have to consider how we're going to approach that situation. Now, I think, speaking of Tuscany, it was the rule of Duchess Matilda of Tuscany that honestly inspires a lot of Queen Fredesenda's ambitions here, because Matilda of Tuscany was a very ambitious woman. She was a strong ruler. She fought in battles. And I think that's part of what inspires the good Queen Fredesende to, these are the types of characters and people that she looked up to growing up, these, strong, powerful women leaders in a society that doesn't really accept that very much. I think kind of inspires her to make her own mark. She doesn't just want to be a footnote in history, right? She wants to be more than that. Our court grandeur is very low, so we do have some things to take care of here. So I think we are going to spend a little bit of money in our courts. Maybe we'll get some decent, decent food, decent fashion, some servants. Should we go for a middle ground? We could probably have, a few more servants there. Let's try to get up to 6 if we can. Maybe fashion. I don't know if we care about fashion that much. Lodgings. Guests could stay longer. They might join our court. Yeah, I think... Oh, and we're almost there, so maybe a little bit better food. Yeah, so this will cost us quite a bit of our money, actually, but it is worth it to have a good court, because that's going to impress the people around us and assist us in our diplomatic endeavors. A flock of robed men burst into my throne room, hectically searching the floor and uprooting everything from chairs to skirts in frantic search. Well, okay. Queen Fredesende, one cries, we are followers of Wymund the Headless, a great holy man who has been decapitated as part of a prophecy God gave him at birth. As often happens with holy figures, his head started rolling away. We have been chasing it through the land and are certain it rolled up the hillock to your castle. I don't know if things roll up, but okay. Who is this fellow here? Ildebrando de Volognes. Okay, he is insane, but he is a genius. Wow, okay. Interesting. You have leave to search my castle. We could spend some grandeur. Let me join your search. Obviously not. I will not have a cult to rummage through my court. Well, I think that we are... Although I would like to have this guy on my court because he's got some high stats. I mean, let's face it, is Queen Fredesende the type who's going to let a bunch of cultists go rummaging through her court? I do not think so. So we won't be doing that. We will be holding court, of course, our first time holding court as queen. So let us accept the petitioners and see what they have to say for themselves. Who do we have first here? Well, we do have Marcusa. A peasant woman stands before me, informing the court of her plea. The recent war took a toll on the countryside, and we're not sure who the culprit is, but they looted an important cultural site to us Sardinians from Cagliari. Please, we beseech you, spare some of your resources so we can see it restored. The peasant ends her request with a clumsy bow, a clear indicator of their low-born status. You should receive the necessary funds for restoration, use the remaining materials for other buildings, or we cannot afford to spend gold on this matter. I think that unlike some of our previous family members here, I think Fredesende, having grown up among the Italians and the Sardinians, I think she is a little bit more interested in increasing the acceptance between the Norman nobles and her Sicilian subject. She's seen several times how peasant rebellions have risen up against her grandfather and her father. And I think Fredesende is a little bit more savvy to managing the social dichotomy between her Norman nobles and the Sardinian and Italian peasantry. So I think we are going to spend the money. We also have a full treasury, just thick with ducats there. So I think she may see this as a wise move here. And obviously this is somewhat in preparation for potentially forming a hybrid culture between Sardinian and Norman, which should be pretty cool if we get the chance to do that. A commotion arises from the back of my court. Before anyone can grab him, a man rushes to your throne, halting before you but offering no deference. One look in his eyes tells me all I need to know. This man is not mentally sound. Monster, you sent us to die. Why do you go unpunished? From this man's ranting, I have discerned that he has somehow been involved in one of my wars, which is probably why he is so distressed. What is to be done with this lost creature? I don't even think that this guy realizes that we just took the throne a few days ago. He probably fought in one of our father's wars and now is seeking revenge against us. He may not even know the difference there. Give him the death that he wants. Okay, I mean, Fredesenda may be a hands-on type of woman, but I don't think in any situation she would be killing somebody herself in her own court. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. Have him executed, we could lose some stress, or we could throw him out. Well, I mean, would we just have him executed? We are vengeful, but has he really done anything that would really justify or warrant execution? I mean, we're not like a murderer or sadistic or anything like that, so I think we're just going to throw him out. Mayor Constantino approaches with a young man in tow. My liege and queen, he spouts, my acquaintance Gerard de Bourg seeks the honor of serving in your retinue of knights. Give him the opportunity to prove his quality. The man knows his way around a mace and will not let you down when it counts. He actually does seem to know his way around the mace. And he's got pretty high martial, brave, humble, wrathful, brilliant strategist, flexible leader. Yep, I think we are going to take this guy. We need good knights, and this actually is good. We will lose stress because we are galleons, so that's pretty nice. Gerard, we have two Gerards, Gerard de Terron and Gerard de Bourg, who are both some knights in our court, so there we go. That's pretty good. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, having business to attend to elsewhere. Others remain, talking among themselves about recent proceedings. Soon, the ceremonial formality of the proceedings is dropped away entirely, with the hum and bustle of normal courtly life taking its place. My business here is done. Pretty good for Fredesenda's first court appearance. I think she proved that she understands at least some of the elements of ruling she has learned from her father. So, what are our considerations here as we begin the first few days and months of Fredesenda's rule? Well, obviously construction and building up the land here is going to be a big part of that. We are constructing a city here. Oh, it's actually already completed. And building up this island of Sardinia here is going to be a big part of our decisions here. So I think we are going to start another building here. A barracks, perhaps, could be a good idea. That will compound with the Royal Armory. So yeah, we are going to build a barracks. We are a warlike person after all. We have quite a few troops, as you can see, almost 4,000, which is a hefty dose of army. And surprisingly, no factions rising up against us. I suppose we don't have that many vassals or counts or anything. We do control most of our domain personally, and the other person is our husband. So yeah, we are in a pretty firm position here. All of this island of Sardinia is within our hands. Salerno, a very rich and prosperous county, and Napoli is the only one that is not ruled directly by us, and that's ruled by our husband. So pretty decent. While housing the lords and ladies from realms near and far, some opportunities to portray Archon Marco of Corsica in a good light have presented themselves. My lady, pray tell, who is the most venerable person you have heard of? Archon Marco, without a doubt. Well, me, of course. I mean, we are wanting to prove ourselves, but we're not arrogant, so I think we are going to go along with this and increase the Archon's opinion of us. So that's pretty nice. In my attempts to align Archon Marco to my interests, wow, we're getting 2 good events right in a row. Found an opportunity. I think I could argue that our goals are in fact the same. As I dictate my next letter, I emphasize those shared interests. Ooh, I try to emphasize those. We could gain a lot of extra opinion, but very low chance. I think we're going to try to be subtle about it. That will still give us a pretty nice boost. Yeah, look, it's already 38. And he's really close to accepting vassalage from us. Yeah, look at that, only -4. So what could we do to increase that? Could we give him a bribe? Gift an artifact? Well, we're not going to gift him our house banner. That's all we've got. What about a bribe? How much would you need? 150. Would 150 be worth bringing in? I mean, that seems like a decent price. We should consider that, but let's see what this is first. My vassal, Mayor Arnold, has arrived at court with a bandaged arm and fear in his eyes. He tells me that my son and heir, Tancred, has been challenging people to duels all over Samasi, just like his grandfather. Good job, Tancred. At least, you might not be the best potential ruler, but I mean, at least you're proving yourself as a warrior. Although this does really fit in with Tancred, doesn't it? He's just, he's not like learning how to rule. He's supposed to be the steward. Now he's going around just like challenging people to duels. Please forgive me, my lady, but this has to stop. Tancred turned up at my doorstep and challenged me. I had no choice but to accept. This is not the first time either. I am but the last in a long line of victims. These duels will cease at once. A dangerous pastime. You need an instructor. Your mother will show you how it's done. Once again, although she probably could show him how it's done, I don't think she will. But if our son is showing some level of, enthusiasm for dueling and stuff, I mean, I'd rather encourage him to be a good warrior. Maybe that will get him to start thinking about, things other than just, drinking with his friends. Maybe he will end up, being, a little bit more like his grandfather after all. So we don't want to spend all of our money here, but we do want to build up our lands here in Sardinia. So we will be spending a little bit of money as we can find the time. We're definitely going to focus on Cagliari at first and then slowly spread out, because eventually we will probably be spreading these counties out to family members and others. But for now, we want to focus on Cagliari and really building it and developing it up into a strong capital. Today I am observing Mayor Cabrielli as he trains some of his new levies. The recruits under his command resemble a disorganized mob more than an army. I look on as he struggles to gain control of the situation, clearly pushed to his limits. While it's never easy to train new soldiers, he seriously needs to do better than this. Teach him what I know about command, cheer him up after the training is over. No, chastise him for his failure? Perhaps. Teach him what I know about command. We could try teaching him. Let's see if he actually listens to us. Advice rejected. Yeah, he probably thinks he knows better than us. This is not my fault, Fredesende. They really should be using my royal moniker here. These idiotic peasants don't know their right hand from their left. How can anyone be expected to turn this rabble into an army? You are expected to do so, Mayor. That is part of your job. You are in control of raising levies for us. I'm disappointed in you. be better. We can ask the head of faith for... Oh, we could have asked the head of faith for gold. It seemed to disappear there. I wonder why. Oh, because he doesn't like us now? Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully he'll come back around, because I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of money off the Pope. The duelist. What? Oh, gosh. Before Tancred even opens his mouth, I can tell it'll be bad. Oh, Tancred. Oh, Tancred. The panic in his eyes is most unlike him. Please, mother, you have to help me. I did not mean to. He was not supposed to die. Tancred is the most ridiculous character. He is such a fop. You know, he is the quintessential noble. He killed Mayor Gabrielli. Well, I mean, Mayor Gabrielli didn't win ourselves over here, but jeez, what does this mean? He gains the trait murderer? Oh my gosh. Oh, Tancred. Jeez. Well, you know, maybe we shouldn't have got him that trainer there. Oh, you are something, Tancred. Jeez. All right, what are we going to choose here? I think we're going to pick Serve the Crown, get some natural dread, control growth. What are we going to do about our son? Jeez. Well, at least our daughter here, you know, she's doing okay here as the Duchess of Auvergne. Wooden barracks has been constructed. We should probably think to upgrading. Yeah, we could upgrade our mine. Yeah, let's do that. It's costing a lot of our money, but it's going to end up giving us a lot of money. Oh, there we go. So we can now vassalize the Archon. He will have low taxes, low levy contribution, but we may be able to raise that later. I think... Could we hold out till we could get the normal feudal obligations? Probably not. He's too old, and I don't want to lose this opportunity. So we are going to send our husband here to speak with the Archon and ask him to swear fealty to us as his queen. And he has accepted. So that is pretty good. We do now have the option of making him our chancellor, and he is extremely good at it. So there we go. And he remains quite loyal. So pretty ideal. He is infirm, but you know, hopefully his eldest son here, Marco Di Masi, or Marco Di Massa, will be a good replacement for him in the future. Well, we can choose a new dynasty legacy, generational belligerence. I mean, we are already going down the warfare tree. And honestly, let's face it, it seems like our family is pretty strong into the warfare game. So I think that's what we're going to go for, generational belligerence. Pursuit efficiency, retreat losses, and casus belli cost lowered. That's going to be pretty nice. So yeah, I think we're really going to watch this guy for a chance. My armies are raised? Have they been raised this whole time? Oh dear, those stupid armies in France did not... I totally forgot about them. There was a war going on here and we totally forgot. No wonder we were... Oh my gosh, we were losing so much money there. I like to think that maybe that was because our army maybe got lost on the way home from France, and we've been paying this whole time to, like, you know, bring them back. Just disaster after disaster striking them as they got home from the war there. So we've been paying, you know, this whole time to try to bring them back. It's been a whole ordeal. Really frustrating. I'm leading a patrol when we spot a group of figures emerging from the darkness of night. Hooded cloaks obscure their faces, but by one's ungainly gait I recognize Turstan. Oh, it's not my lady. They are deserting. What should we do? Turstan d'Angers. Oh my gosh, he's one-legged. He's wounded. Maybe these are those soldiers. He's part of that army, and now they're deserting. He was purposely... I think he was leading that army, and now he was purposely... leading them astray. He didn't want to come home. Turstan d'Angers. Well, we apprehend them, of course. Let us apprehend them. Oh, I guess I'm in here personally. Yeah, okay, we apparently came across this. After a short scuffle, the deserting soldiers are apprehended. Every soldier present, both loyal and not, know that the punishment for this kind of betrayal can be harsh. The air is thick with anticipation and fear. Ooh, yeah, that would be, imagine being a deserter and then you're caught in the act. My lady, Tursten, meets my gaze with tired eyes. They are only children. We just want to go home. Oh, Tursten. Oh, Tursten. The price for betrayal must be paid. Execute them all. You will be scrubbing latrines for months? Or let me tell you a story about discipline and honor. No. Can we really afford to let this go? Can we really allow people to see us as weak? I don't think that we can. I think we need to show them that we are not just, we are the equal to our father. And how did our father treat deserters? Well, obviously he would have had them executed, as shall we. Deserters are due but a single mercy, one granted by executioner's blade. Being faced with the need to make harsh decisions has made me come to understand some of the burdens of command in a more intimate way. Finally, the whole ordeal is over. Tursten Danger, I'm sorry, but you made your last mistake. That does give us a lifestyle perk, and I imagine that we're going to go with perhaps strict organization, because that feels like that was really fitting with what just happened. Well, Archon Marco has passed away. His son really doesn't like us, so we may want to win him over. Let's switch over to swaying him. We want to keep our vassals loyal. In one of the larger villages of Tortoli, a respected elder has recently passed away. He was beloved by all for his virtue and wisdom. As a community leader for many years, he had good relationships with many and always strived to improve everyone's lives. Few had anything bad to say about him. His funeral attracted many who wished to pay their final respects, and some even claimed that his spirit will provide the land with many blessings before he passes into the afterlife. May his soul rest in peace. A nice little bonus there, and we shall take it. We do need a new chancellor, and everybody currently hates us, but maybe we can bring Duke Marco over onto our side a little bit. He is the most powerful vassal in our realm, so we shall try to win him over if we can. Greetings, my impressive liege. I mean, I'm your wife, but okay. I have arrived in Cagliari to pay homage to you, my glorious queen, as a show of loyalty. My pledge of submission alone is evidence enough of my honor. I mean, you don't really have to do this. You are my husband, but sure, we'll allow you to make a show of fealty here. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of King Gilbert, who is soon announced and ushered before me. He kneels in deference, offering nothing but his oath to faithfully serve as a vassal of the kingdom. At last I bid the king arise, confirming my satisfaction and Gilbert's right to the land he rules in my stead. Serve me well, King Gilbert. Yes, I do suspect that this was a show of fealty in order to assert ourselves as the ruler, and our husbands just kind of backing that. He is pretty smart and very diplomatic, so he understands what he's doing here. He's doing this as a show to help our other vassals understand who really rules the kingdom of Sardinia. We can get another martial perk, hard rule, dread gain, siege progress against revolt. Oh yeah, let's definitely do this. Keep our realm firmly under our own control here. Factions have no chance. They're not even bothering to start factions, honestly. And here we go. Yeah, look, and our mine is almost finished, so that's going to give us a nice bonus of money here as well. So yeah, I don't think money is going to be a huge problem, and these retinues are going to really increase the power of our forces here. So we're gonna have a really strong army, and we're gonna be using that. Well, let me tell you. My sister and friend Maud has been hovering around my council meetings lately. Knowing her interest in matters of leadership, I cannot help but feel the woman is waiting for me to impress her. I could engage her in conversation. On the other hand, it might be better for her to simply see me interacting with my men. Yeah, we could go and greet the recruits, I think. Levy reinforcement rate. That sounds pretty good. To cannery encounter... we imprisoned our cousin. Oh, what was going on over here in Auvergne? Were you doing a little bit of a rebellion? Huh. She left the prison, so that's good. That's good. So things actually are extremely stable. Fredesende's rule was not brought in with any doubt of her right to rule here. There were whispers of it, but I think Queen Fredesende put a stamp on that really quite quickly. Now she's building up her army, and she's considering how she can really prove herself to be her father's daughter. Will that mean acting against Tuscany, or perhaps from some of the foreign lands to our west or to our south? That remains to be seen, and we shall find out on the next episode. If you guys are enjoying this series, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think would be an interesting name for a Sardinian Norman hybrid culture, because I think that is somewhere in the future, perhaps in the rule of Tancred. So let me know some ideas for that. If you guys like this series, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We will be making more videos of this in the future, and check out our other series, The Adventures of Stirkar of Clan Stjarna. Until next time, you guys, I have been Stray. You guys have all been absolutely wonderful. See you in the next one.